Shalom. We are continuing now with Psalm 24 of David, a psalm. The earth is the Lord's and all that it holds, the world and its inhabitants. For he founded it upon the ocean, set it on the nether streams. Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not taken a false oath by my life, or sworn deceitfully. He shall carry away a blessing from the Lord, a just reward from God his deliverer. Such is the circle of those who turn to him, Jacob, who seek your presence, Selah. O gates, lift up your heads, up high, you everlasting doors, so the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord, mighty and valiant, the Lord valiant in battle. O gates, lift up your heads, lift them up, you everlasting doors, so the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah. A few things that stand out for me today with this psalm is, first, who may ascend the mountain of the Lord, and who may stand in God's holy place? The answer, he who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not taken a false oath or sworn deceitfully. Clean hands. We are reminded constantly by the CDC and by medical and health professionals to wash our hands religiously and thoroughly whenever we go outside, whenever we think we may have contacted something or touched something that could carry the virus. We immediately wash our hands and we count to 20 or sing happy birthday twice. We do it in a way that isn't simply perfunctory, but we do it in a way that is thorough so that we can reach every single inch and part of our hands and our fingers and our thumb, our fingernails, every single part of our hand, so that we can essentially wash away every particle and germ of that terrible virus that threatens us. And once we have clean hands and a pure heart morally, spiritually, and ethically, then we can go on to carry out in our lives all of the teachings and principles that we have been taught by our elders, by our faith, by our teachers, by our tradition. But it really starts, especially today, with practicing the proper rules and procedures of hygiene so that we can be safe and healthy. Otherwise, we expose ourselves to danger and possibly even worse. That's the first thing. The second thing is that this psalm, Psalm 24, is recited whenever we take the Torah out for public reading on Mondays, Monday mornings, Thursday mornings, and Shabbat during the afternoon or mincha service, and on holidays and festivals that coincide with weekdays. On those days, when we are returning the Torah to the ark, after having heard the Torah being read publicly, and we are proceeding around the congregation with the Torah, while people have the opportunity to acknowledge the Torah and its holiness, either by taking an edge of the fringe of their talit, the prayer shawl, touching the Torah and kissing the prayer shawl, or doing the same with their prayer books, a way of expressing love and devotion to God. The Torah is circled around the congregation and then returned to the ark. It's interesting to me that this psalm is recited not when we take the Torah out, but when we put the Torah back after the public reading of the Torah. Because the content of the psalm in the second half is, O gates, lift up your heads, your everlasting doors, lift them up high, so that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? Mighty and valiant, the Lord valiant in battle. It seems like we are actually, by reciting this psalm, inviting God, the King of glory, into our midst. We are inviting God's presence to come in to the congregation. It's curious that we do that when we are putting the Torah back. It seems like it would be more fitting to invite God's presence in when we are taking the Torah out and about to publicly read its teachings. To me, this is symbolic. It means that now that we have heard the Word of God publicly read as embodied in the Holy Torah, and now that we are putting the Torah back in its secure resting place in the Holy Ark, now we are reminding ourselves that as we go on and conclude the morning service, and as we are about to go out into our daily lives, wherever our daily sojourn may bring us, we are reminded to take with us and carry with us the teachings of God, God's holy wisdom. So we invite the King of Glory to come in, not only during the context of public worship, but also within the structure and framework of our daily lives. We do that by carrying with us the spiritual teachings and wisdom in every aspect of our physical, emotional, and spiritual being during our waking hours. Maybe it doesn't sound very easy to do that. There are so many obstacles and things that get in our way in our daily lives that can easily allow us to forget the teachings that we have taken to heart. But even so, there is a kind of a spiritual muscle memory within us. Even though we may momentarily forget some of the teachings and wisdom, even though we may momentarily stray from the path and get off track, we quickly come back because within our muscle memory, we are wired and oriented to follow the spiritual and religious teachings of our faith. This is something that is truly amazing, and it's something to be eternally grateful for. So we always come back and return to the idea that the King of Glory, the Holy One, blessed be God, is with us in our daily lives. And we always come back to the fact that no matter where we are, and no matter what we are doing, we can bring that level of holiness into our lives. Even when it seems as if God is distant, even when it seems that we ourselves are cut off, it is within our spiritual muscle memory to recall and to remind ourselves that God is ever present. An important lesson to keep in mind during these difficult times that we all live in and endure right now. So I wish all of you strength and the faith to carry God's glory and God's presence with you every day and every moment of your lives. Thank you.